Hi, this is Wess K, and I'm here for Figure Friday, and today we're going to be reviewing Marvel Select's Silver Surfer figure. Marvel Select line, for those people who aren't familiar with it, started back in 2002, and it tends to rip figures right out of the comic books. It gives us more of the classic comic book look of figures. One of the great things about this line is it's geared strictly towards comic book hobby shops. This is not a mass-marketed line that you find at Toys R Us and Walmart, which is one of the reasons it's probably so strong, and we get figures that are so nice. They don't have to worry about rushing and having 1,000 figures out a year. They take their time, and they give us a couple a month. It all varies depending on what properties or movies are coming out at that time. Marvel Select line is one of those lines, it kind of flip-flops. Every once in a while you get pieces that are kind of a little more statued, where they don't have full articulation. It is one of the things they've been getting better with over the years, though. More of their figures have come fully articulated. Whenever you're going to open these figures, please be careful, cut all the twist ties so you don't break or damage the figure taking it out, and make sure you look for all the accessories in the package. Every once in a while there'll be some clear posts to help display the figure, and unfortunately there are people sometimes that don't see them and wind up throwing them out, and then it's kind of impossible to find something to replace that. So take the 2 seconds, look, be careful when you open the figure, make sure you get everything out. Right now I'm going to move this one aside, and I'm going to bring the one that package came in damaged, and we're going to open that one so I don't open the one that's in good shape. So let's just move this over, and now let's bring in Oz. And as you can see, this one came in pretty rough shape. It was damaged. Every once in a while this does happen. Marvel Select has been one of those few companies that have kept their packaging style the same, which is one nice thing because it's easy to display it on the wall. Packaging always looks the same. If you make a wall and you got these on your wall and you want to replace somebody, all you have to do is pop who you don't want on there and off, and then put who you want onto the wall. It's one of the nice things. I wish more companies picked the packaging style and actually stuck with it. It would make it a lot easier to put these away into bins and boxes and keep the ones that we don't want to open nice and in prime condition. So, as you can see, this one was really opened, so get him out of the package. Now, this Silver Surfer figure comes with the figure, it comes with an extra set of hands, it comes with the surfboard, and it comes with a display base. The display base has footholes so we can put him either on the display base or onto the surfboard. One thing that makes it nice is it'll give us the opportunity to actually have Surfer on the surfboard and somebody else on the display stand with him, or him on the display stand and somebody else on the surfboard. He also comes with 2 blaster bolts. Look like they're going to fit over his hands. We'll find that out in a second. And it also comes with an Infinity Gauntlet. The Infinity Gauntlet does have a hole in the bottom, so it will slip over his hand, which means that there might be some other figures in the Marvel Select universe that the hand will also fit over. So, let's get these twist ties undone. If you have a scissor or a knife, it always makes your life easier, and you can just cut them. But, as I said before, don't try to just rip the figure out. The twist ties are in there very good. The plastic is kind of stiff. It's molded to the figure. So the only thing you're going to accomplish by trying to rip him out is probably breaking your figure. Marvel Select line has a pretty good price point. They started in about the $16 range, slowly moved up into the $18, $21. Now they're at a $24 price point. Marvel Select has done a lot better job, though, of giving us accessories and other things to go along with it. So the price point is still pretty fair, considering that a Marvel Legends figure will cost you almost the same amount of money, and you usually don't get anything else in the package except the figure. For those of you that follow the Marvel Select line, you know in the beginning we didn't get a lot of accessories or extras with the figures. Like I said, it's one thing that they have been improving on. This is one line that within the past 10 years has slowly gotten better and better and hasn't had many, if any, regressions in the style of their figures, which is always a nice thing for us collectors. Okay, now our Silver Surfer is fully out of the package, so we can start actually checking this bad boy out. Alright, right now, as you can see, the display base has a nice little groove in it right here, and this is where the surfboard is going to sit into this display base. So, we're just going to take our surfboard. Both ends are the same, so it doesn't really matter which one that we insert in. We're just going to take it and insert it in, and that's how the display base is going to look. And like I said, right here you can see there's the grooves in the indent for the feet. That way we can put him on this display base and have him standing there, or we can have him standing on the surfboard. So let's pop him onto the display base just so we get an idea of how cool he really is. Okay. there we go. There is Silver Surfer standing next to his board on the display base. Now, this figure looks like it's fully articulated. As we can see, he's got the ankle joints, which is very nice, and it's a little hard to see from here, so we'll lift his leg up a little bit, but you can see the ankle goes up and down. It also goes side to side, which will make styling him a little bit easier. The knee has got the double joint, which always makes styling his legs a little bit easier, and he also has the ball joint up at the top so that his leg swivels. The only one thing I see is that every once in a while they put an extra joint right up here. It would be right underneath this little peg right here, and what that would do is it would let the leg swivel out, but it would also let the upper leg rotate. It would make it a little bit easier to style him and also to pose him. So as far as I can see right now, that's one thing that they could have done a little bit better, is they could have given us that extra one joint there like they usually do on Iron Man and Spider-Man figures, along with the ball joint, to give him a little bit better posability. As we go right now, let's just pop him onto the surfboard just for a hot minute, and we'll see how he looks on his board. Well, he looks pretty good on his surfboard. They also did a pretty good job weighting it. As you can see, the base isn't just falling over, so it's not like you need to put somebody on this display base so that Silver Surfer doesn't keep tipping over like that. So they did a pretty good job weighting it, so it looks nice and it's functional at the moment. Silver Surfer has two pairs of interchangeable hands, the Blaster Bolts and the Infinity Gauntlet. So let's play around with those a little bit and see how they came. I'm going to move the display base over. Okay. Now, even though the hands are made to pop in and out, you still want to be easy when you're doing it. The last thing you want to do is break the posts. As you can see, they are very tiny, fragile, short little posts. If we break these, they could be fixed, but why go through the hassle? So, right now, we're going to start with his left hand. Okay? The best way to do it is you want to grab his hand as far to the wrist as possible. Give it a nice little squeeze so you know you got good pressure, and then pull straight. Try not to twist or bend. That's an easy way to break the peg. Okay, now we're going to take his other hand. We're going to make sure we get it lined up first, and then pop it in. Again, nice, even, straight pressure. Okay, now we're going to do his right hand. Again, we want to grab it, pinch, and pull. Okay. Now Silver Surfer has his alternate hands. As you can see, the left hand is not a tremendous different. The hand is a little more straighter instead of the hand being slightly cupped. It does give it a little bit of difference. And this hand will probably look really good. Now, the right hand though, they gave us basically a hand and then a fist. It's not a completely closed fist, but as you can see, the hand definitely looks a lot different than the other hand. Okay, now I'm going to pop his right hand back off. The reason that we're going to do that is, as you can see here, the blaster bolts have two holes in the ends of them that are going to slip over his hands. Now the way it looks now, they're made to slip over the open hands and not the closed hands. So instead of fighting with it and potentially breaking something, we're going to put the other hand back on. Now, as you can see, shoulder has got full articulation. It's got the ball joint. They did the upper arm bicep, which is always nice because it gives you a little bit more motion with the arm. We've got the bend in the shoulder, the elbow, sorry. And then we've got full articulation in the hand. Not only does it go side to side, but it's got the extra joint in it so it can go back and forth. There is no abdomen joint. That's something Marvel Select usually doesn't do. Marvel Legends tends to do a lot of abdomen joints. Marvel Select stays away from it. It's one thing I'm glad that they stay away from. Usually, unfortunately, that joint is nice and stiff in the beginning. Very quickly, though, it becomes a very loose joint, and then every time you try to style your figure or stand him up somewhere, he's leaning over like this, or he's leaning over like this, and it makes it kind of difficult to keep him. He does have the swivel on the waist, so that we can turn him a little bit, and position him a little bit better on the surfboard. Now, let's see how good these blaster bolts go on. It doesn't look like it matters what hand they go on. There is a slight little groove in there, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a major difference. So once again, we're going to line up our piece, we're going to slide it over his hands. Whenever you're pulling these on and off, try to be delicate. Remember that these hands do pop out, so they're interchangeable. So when you're putting this on, be careful. If you push it too far in and get it too tight, it might pop his hand out when you pull it off, and then that would be a little bit of a hassle to get it back off. The other thing is that they do leave enough room, it looks like. So when you're going to pull this off, get your finger in there, get it onto the joint of the wrist, and that'll make it so that you can pull it off without popping his hand out. Now we've got the Silver Surfer with the Power Cosmic Bolts. As you can see, once again, they did a really good job weighting the figure. He's got these 2 bolts on his hands, his arms are extended, and he's not automatically falling over. It's one of the things I love the most about Marvel Select line is that the figures are almost always weighted correctly so that they can hold poses, which is one of the nice things. This line too, if you're into the Marvel Legends line, this line is the line you want to buy a Hulk from. The Marvel Select Hulks are awesome, they are the best figures, and they are huge, which means they look really good on your shelf along next to these guys. Now, as we said before, the Infinity Gauntlet is going to slip over his hand. It looks like he would slip over either one of his open hands, which means that there might be some other figures in this universe that the hand Infinity Gauntlet might fit on. This is the second time now that they've done the Infinity Gauntlet. The first figure that they did the Infinity Gauntlet was Thanos. If you haven't picked that figure up, definitely should. Okay. As you can see, they did a nice job with the gauntlet. They got all the gems on there. It's a nice yellow color. And even though it slips on and off fairly easy, as you can see, it doesn't just fall off. Alrighty. Now, they did a good job with the metallic paint job. It's not too metallic, but it's not white. It's a very nice silver color. Marvel Select always does a good job with the paint jobs. There's not usually a lot of nicks or misses or imperfections into the figures itself. Now, I'm going to bring the base back over really quick, and we are going to try and put him on the surfboard. Now, I can see right off the bat that the fact that it doesn't have that additional joint up on the leg is going to make it a little hard to style on his surfboard. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to rotate this part of the leg and then keep the hip joint where we want it, which is one of the reasons they should have done that extra little joint on there. But with action figures, as all you collectors out there know, there's very rarely a figure that we're completely satisfied with in every aspect. It's just our nature to be picky. But even without that extra joint, as you can see, he still gets styled on the surfboard fairly well. And that is a fantastic figure. Maybe in the future, if we're lucky enough, they'll actually do a Galactus scaled in the Marvel Select line. Probably be a $300 figure, but I don't know about you, but I'd still buy one. For those of you who don't know, Galactus is the person that Silver Surfer is the herald for. Silver Surfer was originally Norrin Radd, and then he makes a deal with Galactus to spare his planet, and in exchange he'll go out and find other planets for Galactus to eat to regain his power. Silver Surfer does have a hidden agenda, though. He tries to make sure that every planet that he does give to Galactus is void of life, because in the end he doesn't want to really hurt anybody. Alrighty. Well, I think they did a really good job on this figure. There's a lot to like about him. There's really not much to dislike, except for that one joint that's missing in the leg. To give this figure an overall score, it would definitely be a 9 out of a 10. Can't give it a 10 out of a 10 because it is missing that one joint. Makes it a little difficult to do certain poses and everything on, but it is definitely a solid 9. Well, this is Wess K for Figure Friday. This is our little review of Silver Surfer, and check back soon and see what else we can do a review of.